Hey everybody, happy Halloween and welcome to my Halloween display walkthrough for 2013. I do one of these every year, and if you have seen my previous years, you will know that typically I have somebody working the camera and I'm in front of the camera talking about everything. Well, my usual camera guy, Charles, moved to Florida earlier this year, so I'm kind of out of a cameraman, so this year I'm going to have to do it myself. So I'm going to be behind the camera rather than in front, but that's okay because you're here to see Halloween decorations and not my face anyway. So I think it'll work out fine. So, let's begin. There have been a ton of additions this year. Well, I say a ton, not really a ton, not as much as we wanted, but it's still pretty good. I don't know why I'm going over there, so I was planning on starting over here. Alright. So the first thing we have here, we have our bushes with our spider web, as usual. This year we have a new spider addition to the family, plus the original one, which is kind of hard to see under the sunlight. There we go. And the one thing we did differently this year is our trapped skeleton is actually hanging upside down from the house. So I thought that was a cool way to change it a little bit. Alright, so we'll move on over to the porch. We got our enter if you dare sign. And then down here, there's a couple of skull heads that we have. I can't think of what they're called, but you know how like if you see a house with columns, they have like gargoyles or lions or something on them? I don't know what I'm trying to say. But basically, that's the idea. And actually, the cool thing is, if I can find the switch, the eyes light up. You can't really see it too well during the day, but they light up. And it's so spooky and cool. So, my dog's barking because she hears me out here. So we have pumpkin there. We have our skeleton flamingos that we have every year. There and right there. And let's see, I put that guy up. I put him up every year, and I always talk about how he's kind of random and doesn't really fit in anywhere. And it's the same this year. And this year he actually spun around and he won't stay facing forward. So he's kind of useless. And if you look there, there's somebody watching me through the window. That's cool. Alright, so we'll venture on over here. We got another spiderwebbed bush, which is cool, except we used really cheap spiderweb for this, so it looks terrible compared to that. But whatever. Alright, then we got... I'll come back. Let's circle around here. Alright, so come over here. And here's our werewolf. You might remember him from last year, how awesome he is. Last year we had him over there by the cars. This year we have him over here chained to the tree. And I like him better right here because it looks like he's actually being held back. Pretty cool. And then we have our hanging skeleton, which again, just like the guy on the porch, for some reason he is just refusing to face the road this year. I have no idea why, but we gave him some old torn up clothes this year just so he wasn't naked again. But yeah, so he is showing the road his back, so I don't know why. Alright, so the biggest centerpiece of our display every year is the cemetery. And the cemetery this year, it's not what we were intending on doing. It's not as big, but it's still pretty awesome, and I think you'll see why. So I'll come over here to the graveyard, and there you go. That's the whole thing. Let's see, we have a couple better gravestones this year, which is cool. Starting next year, I'm going to start custom making some. So let's see, we have a groundbreaker here, which this guy actually came from my grandparents. because my family knows how much we love getting into Halloween, so they get us Halloween decorations all the time. So we got a ground breaker coming on the ground with a rat on top of the stone. And then we'll come over here and we got our first zombie. Now last year, these were pretty much just PVC pipe with a skeleton head and old torn up clothes. This year, we actually... My phone's ringing, guys. My phone is ringing while I'm recording a video. I'll call you back later. This year we actually dressed them up a little bit better. They're kind of wearing funeral clothes now. And I did a process called corpsing, I believe it's called, where basically I used cotton balls and liquid latex to give the what's the word? The look of rotten flesh. See if you can see. See, I gave him some tendons there. And on his face, we got see, like his skin is rotten off. I think it's pretty awesome. I had a lot of fun doing it. The only thing is, I wasn't able to paint them this year. I ran out of time. So, we'll have to paint them next year, because this year they just kind of look this weird yellowish, whitish color. But yeah, so we did him. He's the front one. He kind of looks like he's going out for a handshake. He's supposed to be like reaching out forward, but he kind of just like, he'd be like, "Hey man, how you doing? Nice to meet you." Whatever. Alright, so come back through here. Some more gravestones. That one's kind of cool. Kind of decked that one out. And then here's our other zombie. Mr. Charming in his tuxedo. And his nice handsome smile. He's like, "Hey, I'm gonna take you to the zombie prom." That was not a funny joke. I'm sorry. But see, it did the same thing with his hands. It's pretty cool. Alright, so got a ghost over there. But no one cares about the ghost over there, because the main attraction this year is we finished our mausoleum, and it's amazing. You saw the flying crank ghost last year. We had her up on the porch, but this year we built her a mausoleum to go in, and it is the coolest thing in the world. This is made out of insulation foam, like the stuff they use for construction and stuff. And basically we built the frame and then skinned it with the foam, and we just carved these bricks into it. Carved the bricks and then painted it gray and stuff to look like stone. And it's really cool. And then we put these lights up here with these little flicker bulbs to look like flames. And probably the coolest thing is the skull up here, because we needed something to kind of accent the whole thing. And so we took an old foam skull, pretty much the same as that one sitting on the ground, cut it in half and attached it, and painted it the same way to look like a little stone carving. And it's so cool. This is another thing that we've had people like stop and talk to us because they really like it. And then at night she glows and floats, and it's all cool and spooky looking, and it's awesome. So yeah, that's our display for 2013. We wanted a lot more. We've been working on columns and a fence for the cemetery, but we didn't get them finished in time. So those will come out next year. And I have a bunch more ideas to do for next year. And someone's home, so I need to move out of the way. But yeah. So thanks for watching. And in a couple days, I'll put up the nighttime version. Happy Halloween!